Good morning, children. Today, let us start with the third unit of our book, The First Flight. In the third unit, we have two different stories. First story is his first flight. The second story is the black aeroplane. Both the stories have an underlying message. Okay. The first one, which we are about to do today, is about all parental acts being for the betterment of a child. Okay, whatever our parents do, whichsoever way they scold us, whatsoever steps they undertake, sometimes scolding us very badly, sometimes making us learn certain things because they know very well what means and tacts and techniques they have to employ in order to make their own children learn a specific skill. Okay, sometimes they're threatening, sometimes they're cajoling. Everything is for our own benefit. Okay, whatever they do, it is finally for our own benefit. Okay, right now also they may be imposing some rules and regulations on you. Don't go there, don't touch this. It's after all because they are thinking about you only. Okay, so it is also your duty that in the present time, whatever and whichever way they are trying to control you, you also kindly follow whatever guidelines your parents have laid for you, because they are following the government guidelines and they would be imposing some rules on you. So you also, as very obedient children, follow whatever your parents say. Help your parents in whatever task they are undertaking on their own. Look after your grandparents. And other than doing all these things, kindly be regular in your studies, even. Okay? Yes. So, introduction of the chapter given in very short. Here in this, there is a seagull. How do the parents of that seagull make it learn how to fly? Same way, what ways do our parents adopt in order to make us learn so many things in our life? So we should never take our parents wrong. Okay, let us begin with the chapter now. Two stories about flying. So we are doing the first part, that is his first flight. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. Okay, ledge refers to a shelf which is projecting from a wall. Basically, it also talks about a big cliff or a boulder at the peak of a mountain. So the young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sisters had already flown away the day before. Flown away the day before means the previous day they had learned the skill of flying. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and he attempted to flap his wings. But then he became afraid. Means he undertook that effort. He tried. He took a few steps, reached the brink. Brink here refers to the edge. Okay, so he took those few steps, reached the edge of that ledge, tried to flap his wings, but he felt very afraid of something. Something was there which stopped him from taking a flight. What were those reasons which made him afraid? The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath. Okay, deep down he could see that it was like a great expanse, and that frightened him to that an extent. Then he also realized it was such a long way down, miles down, means up from the ledge to the bottom of the sea. The distance was too much, and the seagull felt that if he is unable to take the flight, if his legs don't support him, if his wings don't support him, he would be having a steep fall downwards. So that made him feel scared because the distance was miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. That hesitation was there within the seagull, that the wings would not support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. So the birds usually keep their children at a very safe place, a small hole. So here, this seagull also couldn't take the flight and once again ran back into the hole where it had been sleeping for the whole night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, now here the author specifies that the wingspan, the feathers, were shorter in size, but still they were able to run to the brink of the ledge. They were able to flap their wings and they flew away. But this young seagull failed to muster up courage. Muster up courage means gather, get, accumulate. मतलब हिम्मत नहीं जुटा पाया that the way his sister and brother were able to do. Okay, so he failed to gather that courage. He failed to take that plunge. Plunge refers to the dive. Okay, so he couldn't take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. He felt because others had taken, he also felt that he should do it, but he was unable to. He couldn't gather that much of courage. His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly. Shrilly means that sharp sound which the birds made, the parent birds made to call out the young seagull. Okay, so they called out loudly, upbraiding him. Upbraiding is scolding him, threatening. I'm sorry, upbraiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. Okay, likewise, parents, our parents also, your parents also, sometimes if they want you to do something, they may be giving some conditions to you. They may be threatening you, you do this, or if you don't do this, we wouldn't give you this. Whatever way, whichsoever tax or techniques, as I told you, they imply, they apply in order to make you learn something. Here the seagull's parents also threatened, and what did they threaten him with? To let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. You have to take a dive. You have to plunge in. When you take a dive, then only we'll give you food. Something like this they also did. But for the life of him, he could not move. In spite of the threats made by the parents, this young seagull didn't take a flight. That was 24 hours ago, means one day passed. The brothers and sisters took the flight. This young seagull didn't do it. The whole day, the whole 24 hours had passed. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, nobody came near him because they too were disappointed, annoyed with him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sisters, perfecting them in the art of flight. Now, the first flight had been undertaken, and now the parents were training the seagull's brothers and sister how they should perfect their flight now. Okay, so the initial hesitation had gone. After that initial hesitation being gone, they were now perfecting the art of flying. So the parents were teaching the children how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. All these were the skills which the parents were now training their children with. So after the first flight, what were they were doing? Teaching them how to skim. Skim means just touching the surface of something and then flying away. This skimming has to be undertaken by some of the birds who feed themselves on aquatic creatures. Okay, so here the seagulls also had to dive to catch a fish with which they could feed themselves, feed their bellies. So, skim the waves and how to dive for fish. So, this art was being told, guided by the parents to the seagulls. Young seagull also, in fact, seeing his older brother catch his first herring and devour it. Herring is a sea fish. Devour means to gulp or swallow it. So the young seagull saw one of his brother catching the fish and enjoying it. Standing on a rock, while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle. So when the brother was able to catch that fish, parents were celebrating. Parents were happy. They were encouraging that particular brother of the young seagull, for he was able to catch a fish on its own. Okay, so they also were raising a proud cackle. They were making proud sounds, in a way trying to applause the seagull for the fish it had caught. And all the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his goddess. So here, other brothers and sisters, they were able to make their first flight. This young seagull was not ready to undertake it. So the parents were happy with the achievement made by the other brothers and sisters, whereas they were very annoyed, very disappointed, and they were taunting him, they were teasing him, and they felt that this seagull was being a coward for not undertaking the flight. Okay. The sun was now ascending the sky. Ascending is moving upwards. Blazing on his ledge that faced the south. Blazing is that burning bright, that bright light. So blazing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other, because it was very hot and it was becoming very difficult for it to stand there. And he pretended to be falling asleep. So here he is creating some tantrums so that the parents look at him, so that the parents feel that he is feeling weak because he has not fed himself with anything. So he is doing undertaking all those tamasha so that the parents feel pity on him. Okay. Still, they took no notice of him. Parents did not notice at all. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, and they were dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. They were nicely sleeping, having a sound sleep. His father was preening the feathers on his white back. Okay, preening here refers to that the way the birds use their beak in order to maintain their feathers. Okay, so the father was preening the feathers on his back. Only his mother was looking at him, just like a concerned mother who was worried about the child being hungry. So the mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. This is the way the mother bird, was sitting. Now and again, she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. Scrap here means the way it was trying to sharpen the edge of its beak. So again and again, the mother was with a piece of fish which it had in front of him. It was tearing that fish. The sight of the food maddened him. Him refers to that young seagull who could see clearly that the mother was tearing some small pieces for her own children, pieces of that fish. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. Wet means to sharpen, and scrap is to rub with some surface so that the beak is pointed and sharp enough to tear the flesh of the fish. Gaga, he cried, begging her to bring him some food. So the little seagull, who was on one of its own ledge, called out to its mother who was sitting on the plateau. What was exactly that sound made for? Begging her to bring him some food. Gokula, she screamed back derisively because she too was not happy with whatever Seagull had been doing. So she basically wasn't happy when the child was calling or expecting the food. So she screamed back, scolding the child again. But he kept calling plaintively because he was very sad, he was hungry. So the little child, with that sympathy, with that pity, is now calling out again for his mother. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. So something happened which made the young seagull happy. What was that? His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. So this young seagull, as if felt that whatever tantrums I had been throwing, so my mother has been now very sympathetic with me and feeling pity of me that yes, I am so hungry. So she is now bringing food for me. This made the seagull very happy and he uttered a joyful scream because he could see his mother coming towards him. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet. He too was excited. Mother was moving towards him and now he too has to go towards his mother. He was trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. But when she was just opposite to him again, the young seagull, she halted. Her wings were motionless. The piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. So just a few, means what do I say, a very little distance away, the mother stopped in the sky. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer to him. And then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. Okay, mother had not reached onto the ledge. Young seagull was at the brink of the ledge. There was just a small distance between the mother and the child, but the mother did not come towards the child. And being maddened with hunger, the young seagull dived for the fish. Okay, see the line once again. Maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space because of the vast expanse of the sea. Deep down, here the mother had not actually come to give it that piece of the flesh of the fish. The mother had come in order to make young seagull take its first flight, which he was not willingly taking because of that hesitation inside him. But for the sake of the food, he dived, and this way he had taken his first flight. He fell outwards and downwards into space. Then a monstrous terror seized him. He felt terrorized. What was it? Because his heart stood still. He couldn't believe, because he was not ready to jump, and now he had been made to jump. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted for a minute, because the next moment he could feel his wings spread outwards. It was out of that fear of falling, that he made his wings spread, and when the wings spread, he could flap it, and after flapping, he could take its flight. Okay, so that hesitation had been overcome. He could feel his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers. The wind was under his stomach, against his wings, and finally, he could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. Tips of his wings cutting through the air means he was able to fly. He was not falling headlong now. Headlong means downwards. He was not falling. He feared that if he would dive, he would fall downwards. But he was not falling headlong. He was rather soaring gradually downwards and outwards. Soaring is take a fly, upward flight. Okay. So he was soaring gradually downwards, outwards. So this flight he was able to make somehow. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy because he was trying hard to maintain its balance up there in the sky. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Gaga, Gokula, and his mother swooped past him. Swooped is that a flight which has been undertaken by the mother in order to come close to the young seagull. Okay. So mother swooped past him, her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him screaming. He then saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. Okay, curveting means how they were jumping around, because the other brothers and sisters too were now very happy that finally their younger sibling was able to make the flight. So they were curveting, they were banking, they were soaring, they were diving. So all around were having fun and enjoying together. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly, and he commended himself to dive and soar and curve and shrieking shrilly. And now inwardly he was appreciating himself that whichsoever way, whatsoever way, he was able to take the flight now. He was near the sea now. He was flying straight over the sea. He was facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him. Sea with little ridges moving over it. Okay, ridges refers to the small waves which are there on the surface of the water. And he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. Cawed amusedly means making that sound, being very happy and calling out for his brothers and sisters who were around him. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. Green flooring refers to the surface of the sea which was there. They were beckoning to him. Beckoning is giving a call. Calling shrilly. Shrill is that sound made by the seagulls in order to call for one another. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright. See now, the first flight had already been learned, and now here the parents as well as the siblings are trying to make him skim over the surface of the sea. As we already discussed, that the other siblings had learned how to skim. They also had learned how to catch the fish for themselves. So the same they are trying to adopt for the young seagull. So he tried to stand on the green sea, but then the legs sank into it. Once again, he was frightened and he attempted to rise again with the flapping of his wings. But this time, he was tired. He was weak with hunger and he could not rise because he was exhausted. He was tired. Tired with what? By this strange experience. Experience of skimming over the surface of the sea. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched the surface of the water, and he sank no farther. But this time he did not sink. He was floating on it. He was able to float over. That means a gentle touch of the surface of the water and then soar upwards. So he was floating on it, and around him, his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. So this was a bit of a treat which was given to the young seagull by the parents and his brothers and sisters. See the last line? When he learned how to skim, the family was happy. They praised him and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. Here refers to the pieces of the flesh of dogfish, another kind of a fish. He had made his first flight. This way, the young seagull was taught to take or make the first flight by his parents. Okay, same way in real life also. Sometimes the parents over pamper the child. They do all amount of spoon feeding to their child. So this pampering, this over pampering doesn't allow the child to learn something on his own. The child is not able to be independent in anything. See, life is not a bed of roses. There may be many trials and tribulations in our future life. Okay, so in order to be strong enough, in order to be able to learn something in our life, parents have to be strict to us. If they are being strict to us, finally it is for our own benefit. Okay, here again, the mother seagull, if you noticed, she brought the piece of flesh for the little child, but she didn't offer it because the mother wanted the child to take the flight and not spoon feed and give it to the child the food in its mouth. When the seagull may have been a very small child within its nest, then it was understood that the mother was providing the food to the little child in its mouth. Okay, but as the child grows up, it is the duty of the parents to make the seagull learn how to fly, how to catch its prey on its own. So this was the way adopted by the mother seagull. Okay, so likewise here, we should also consider that this method of being strictness should be adopted by the parents in order to make the child learn skills in future. Okay, so we also should take our parents' advice, their means and ways in a very respectful manner, because finally they are thinking for our own benefit. Okay, children. So with this, we finish with our chapter, and tomorrow we shall be discussing the question answers of it. Okay, goodbye. Take care, children.